Hey guys, it's Tova, and today I'm sharing a tutorial slash process video of this cute little Tippy Mini. And I'm kind of new to tutorial making, so I would appreciate any kind of feedback so I know the things that are good and the things that I could do better. So let's get started. So I'm starting out with some toilet paper rolls, and I have pressed them by put them between some books, and before I spritz them with some water just to soften up the paper, and I'm painting all the edges, and on one side I'm painting the inside as well because that's going to be visible. And now I am gluing one side together, and that's where the binding's going to be. And the side that I painted, that's where my tags are going to go inside. And here I missed a spot, so I'm covering that up with a black pen. And I cut all my pattern papers to size, and I'm inking the edges with Tim Holtz Distress ink. This is black soot. And then I am gluing on my pattern papers, and I'm using a PVA based glue for this. And if you want your binding, lace binding, to be visible, and that's what I'm going to do, then you glue your paper on first and then you add the binding. And if you want your lace binding to be less visible, you do that before you glue on your pattern paper. So I've chosen a ribbon and a black lace to glue on top, and that's because I like a little pop of color underneath my lace. And at the beginning I decided to cut the lace after I glued it on, and it turned out to be a mistake because it was harder to measure. As you can see, that's a piece that was too short. So I tried this out, and then I decided to measure it properly and pre-cutting so it would be easier to glue it on. And here the glue didn't stick for some reason. So as you can see, I pre-cut my pieces to make it easier, and I am making the spaces between the pages bigger than the other two, and I did correct that later on the other two pages. And here I'm going to glue the two together to make 4 pages that's going to go inside the album. And if you have the patience to wait for a wet glue instead, that gives a prettier finish, because the hot glue is always visible in some spots unless you are insanely talented. So, and here on the sides I am gluing on a strip that's going to hold the pages to the cover. And yeah, so here I'm making my cover, and I'm using a regular black cardstock as a base. And my chipboard, I just cut them the sides the same size as my toilet paper rolls, and the spine is a little bit bigger than all my pages together. And be careful to make enough space between the sides and the spine, because otherwise you're going to crack your paper when you fold it. So remember to leave enough space there, and I think it's always a little bit bigger than I think. So yeah, really think about that when you make your covers. I've cracked so many of my covers. So, and here I'm folding the edges before I glue it down, because I'm using wet glue, and you have to be patient and hold the paper down while it dries. So folding it before makes it easier. So here I'm using the same PVA glue, and I'm pressing down my flaps, and I'm using a lighter to flatten it out because I'm too cheap to get a bong folder. So but it works fine as well. As long as the surface is smooth, you can use almost anything. And my spine here, I'm just carefully presses the space a little bit. And that part of the spine is going to be visible. Not much, but still visible. So I want to cover that. So I'm just using a piece, and I haven't measured this. I just go by eye measurement. And here, carefully press where you're going to fold your covers. If you press too hard, you ruin it. If you don't press, you ruin it. So, and it turned out okay, no cracks. And then I glue on my pattern paper. And if you are going to make a less visible binding, you glue on the pages first. But if you want the lace to be as visible possible, you glue on your pattern paper first. So, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm first doing the inside, and then I'm going to glue on the pattern paper on the outside. And I'm not going to show any decorations in this video, because I've probably already done a flip through video of this mini album. They're just checking everything is properly glued down. And here goes my pages, and I'm only gluing on the sides, so the pages can move freely back and forth. The downside of this kind of binding is that your pages have a tendency to fall forward. So I'm using a ribbon to sort of hold them in place, but still give enough room to let them move around, so it still lies flat. And if you tie this, you can adjust it as you fill your mini with more stuff. But I glued it down instead. So I'm all done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye!